Alright, so I think there's another way to make this happen. And what I mean by this is, I mean the way the society is running, the way things are going, right? We're sitting here living this life. It's a human life. People think what it means to be human is, you get a job, you get a house, you have a family, you have kids, you have a wife, you do this, you do that. Like, life's already planned out for you, right? But it's like, I feel like there's another way to do this. There is another way. It's just the system's been hacked to make us think that this is the only way. We've been brainwashed to think that this is the only way, that this is all that can be. But I think that what can be is so much more than this, right? So it's sad to me when people, will just, I guess, live for their job, right? And then you have like people like Simon Sinek, which, I mean, he's dope as shit. But it's like people like Simon Sinek who will sit there and say, you gotta find a job that you basically are happy to go to. Basically, you're happy to go to your job. You're working for a purpose. Find your why type thing, right? And then sometimes Gary Vaynerchuk said some people are realistically a number three in a business. Instead, they're trying to be a number one, but they'd be much happier if they were a number three. And it's true. But I just think that, to me, it's sad that this is where the human race is, right? Because I can see that we are so much more than just worker bees. And the sad part about this thinking, right? Now, I've had conversations like this with many people and brought this up to many people. One of the only arguments against my thing that like really hit me was you know some people, I mean, this world requires worker bees. Not everyone's, you know I mean, they described it as, they were comparing it to like bees, right? How bees have, like the queen bee, and even ants, right? How ants, I mean, most people don't even know there are some ants that have wings. Some ants can fly. Um, there's certain type of ants, and it's like it all came from the same queen, right? Like the ants that are the worker bees and the ant that can fly, it all came from the same queen, but yet it's so much. Sorry, I had to pause that because I had someone walk in. But the phone's gonna die, so that sucks. Oh, fuck it. Well, so basically, what I'm saying is this: that the queen ant has the same, is the same mother of both, right? So that was the theory I was hit with, is that the fact that this is just is what it is, right? That some people are the bees, or some people are the ants that can fly, and some will never grow wings, no matter how much they want to. And it's a sad, fucked up truth that I don't want to believe, but it's like, I mean, it seems accurate. Why is it that some people, you could put two people through the exact same struggles? Why is it that some people just use those struggles and get through them and overcome obstacles and become a better person because of those obstacles? But some people hit obstacles and they get destroyed by those obstacles. Those obstacles tear them down, break them down into, being sad and depressed and lack of confidence, feeling like a failure. I posted a status on Facebook the other day that was like, if you believe in a failure, then you're a failure. If you believe failure is just a lesson, then you've already won, right? And it's like, because it goes to perspective. It's that the same person can go through, two people can go through the same struggle, but yet have two different outcomes because they have two different perspectives on the situation they're in. Right? Somebody who looks to blame for their problems, looks to say, oh, it's this person's fault why I am the way I am, or it's my mom's fault, it's my dad's fault, they will have a different outcome than the person's like, nah, it's my fault, right? Just no excuses. And I feel like I want to believe that everyone can be something much greater than just worker bees, because everyone's complaining. I'm worried when people are sitting there complaining that AI is going to take their jobs. It reminds me of South Park. They took our jobs. And it's like, it's just, to me, it's funny because, yeah, they took your job. If a robot can take your job, you are in the wrong field for humanity's benefit, right? You're in the wrong field to benefit humanity, because if a robot can take your field, then maybe you're not really doing what you were meant to be doing. Like, and it sucks to say that, right? Because some people are like 50, 60 years old, been doing their craft for so long, and they're stuck in it for so long. And sometimes, this is why they say don't wake a mind up past 40, right? It's not that you can't, it's that it's more life shattering for them. They can, it's a little more, because they've gone through so much that they have to believe that most of that was bullshit, and that they're so much better than that, and that, they've been lied to, and that it's not, there's so much more, and they could have did more, and that, so many people think that you got to go to college to start a business. No, you can start a business at like 14 years old. I'm pretty sure, like, when you could get your working papers, I'm pretty sure you could start a business, and and everything's online now. You can start an LLC online, for like $400, right? So it's like, it's not that complicated anymore. Build a website with Wix or Square or GoDaddy or something, right? And then go from there. And this is my plan, right, with the entrepreneurship. But I'm doing so much more than just entrepreneurship, right? And a lot of people are just chasing money. I'm not chasing money. I'm trying to be something. Like, I'm trying to fly. Like that ant scenario. I am trying to fly. It doesn't matter where I go. Doesn't matter what I do. I plan on soaring like a bald eagle, right? Because I've just been thinking to myself, why is it that some people like need external motivation? Like, I guess I need external motivation too. Like, I have external motivation with my kids, with my family. External motivation, I use Kratom sometimes for energy, to help me go in, to help me, stay focused and driven a little more. Even, like, I even sometimes drink caffeine for energy, and, to keep me going sometimes, right? Use cannabis to be a little, to, open up my creative mind. I use, different plants and extracts and psychedelics and substances occasionally to open up other parts of my mind, right? But I feel like, for me, I feel like what it requires for me to soar. Like, I'm just trying to explore every avenue and every aspect of my being, because that's the issue I have. That's why I say we're so much more than worker bees, because the issue I have is people think their being is their job. People are so attached to their job that, like, they think that's their life. That's all there is to life, right? But there's so much more to life. We're so much more than human beings. We're interdimensional beings that have the power to create master. We can literally master a planet. Like, we can take Mars and we can eventually make it habitable. We can create technology. We can create all this other shit. We did so much more than the gorillas, who are behind us, but they did so much. We'd have done so much more than them. We have so much more accomplishments, right? Or do we? Like, we're so disconnected from what's actually really going on, spiritually, with the planet, how the animals and the plants are all in a symbiosis with each other, in a symbiotic relationship, and how we are too, but we're just not aware of it. And we're the only species that is not aware of it. Yet we claim we're the most intelligent. This is, like, that's why I wanted to make this video, because I feel like so many people are not aware that, like, everyone will tell you to get a job, to pay your bills, to all this other shit, right? But at least that's what people are telling me. And all I can speak is for myself, but all I can say is that's not what the fuck I want to do. And all I can say is that's not what the fuck I was born to do. I was not born to work at goddamn McDonald's. Like, I was not born to make pizzas for a living and help the world get fatter. I wasn't born to I'm not trying to add to the problem, right? This is my issue. You tell me to get a job, I'm trying to be consciously aware. But the only jobs that I have around me are corporations that I don't really want to fucking work for, right? I don't want to work for Walmart. I don't want to work for 7-Eleven. I don't want to work for McDonald's. Because it's just bullshit, right? Because I'm trying to stay away from I'm trying to stay away from eating meat, but when you're at the bottom, right, and all you got is what's in the fridge and you ain't got nothing else, whatever, you have to eat what's there, right? So that's what I've been doing. So it's like the next alternative would be like, get a job, just go work at McDonald's, and then eat meat while I'm there. And if I'm not eating the meat, I'm serving the meat to other people. Like, this makes no fucking sense to me. This is the issue I'm having. It's just like, I'm not a fucking worker bee. I cannot, if I am doing a job that a robot can do, it irritates the shit out of me. I mean, it generally, most people online, like, they don't know that, like, when I was a kid, I used to have a severe anger problem, right? And I used to, like, punch holes in walls and scream at the top of my lungs until I lost my voice and whatever. Most people would think, oh, Mark's this cool, peaceful dude, he's all whatever. No. It's just, what really gets that back out of me, reminds me of that old me, right, is when I'm working a job, like, because when I worked at this pizza place for 4 years, by the end of that, I was so angry. I was so fucking just mad with the world, mad with myself. I would take my anger out on my family. I would take my anger out on my friends. I would take my anger out on myself and punch walls. I broke my hand to the point where it's like no return type shit. Like, it's slightly deformed a little bit. And, this happened, like, I broke my hand in, like, 2012. But, like, and that was the last serious thing that I did was, from 2012. But, like, I've had many anger bursts since then. But my anger burst is because I'm so sick and fucking tired of this dumb fucking bullshit, right? I think it's bullshit that, like, I feel like if you're a musician, if you can make music, I feel like you should be fucking making music and you should be getting fucking paid for it. That should be your thing. That's what you were born to do. Because other people maybe are not born as good as you. Maybe, now, there's a difference between a job and a career, right? If you were a kid building, taking wood, carving it into, like, little tiny buildings and making little buildings out of popsicle sticks and things like that, and then you grow up to become a carpenter, that's what you were born to do. Right? That's not a job to you. That is a life. That is a career. That was your life. You'll be doing carpentry whether you were actually doing carpentry or whether you were just doing projects at home, little art projects, or maybe like making little carvings or making little things like that, whatever. But, like, regardless, you're still doing it. It's your life. That's what I feel like what we should be doing. Everyone has that thing that they do that, a lot of people have that thing they do that they wish they can get paid for it. If you wish you can get paid for it, it is possible to get paid for it. This is something I'm facing with myself, but my issue is I've doing psychedelics and going on this quote-unquote path to enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. You get sucked into other people's bullshit because there's bullshit in the spiritual community as well. So it's like, you think religion's the only thing that's bullshit? No, I mean, some of that crystal magic thing is bullshit as well. It's like, there's bullshit everywhere. People try to bullshit you, but you can't bullshit a bullshitter, as my grandfather used to say. But I think that the issue is that most people don't know who they are, and the ones that do, if you're living a life, if you're working a job and you're doing this and you're doing that, you're usually so fucking angry, suicidal, you're this, you're that. I was looking up statistics, and men have a higher risk of committing suicide than women. And it's like, I mean, for the longest, men have been the workers, right? Men have worked a job, did this, did that, right? We're living a life we don't want to fucking live. You think, we're brainwashed to think, oh yeah, You know what a real man does? A real man has a job, and a real man, drives a Chevy or whatever the fuck you want to say. But like I'm just saying here, we have these stereotypes of a real man, and those stereotypes of a real man are what are fucking shattering a lot of real men. Those stereotypes are what's making us angry, what's making us more aggressive, what's making us more depressed, what's making us suicidal, what's making us more whatever. Now, it's not just men, right? It's women too. But I'm just saying, because women are molded into, something too that, that one song made me think about it. That whole "Sit Still, Look Pretty" song thing. And it made me think that's what that's what the world tries to mold them into. But there are certain women that think for themselves, that realize the bullshit, right? Just like, men are taught not to cry. All these things, right? All these things are built into us. But I feel like if you were told to be this, if you were told to be a worker bee, but it just does not fit in with you, you just don't feel right, you don't know what, you're probably anxious. Everyone says, oh, they're anxious. Why are you anxious? And then they go to the doctor, they say, hey, I'm anxious, or I'm depressed, or I have ADHD. The doctor just gives them fucking legal amphetamine and a fucking, GABA agonist, or something like a benzo or something, right? Here's benzo for your anxiety, and here's the speed for the legal speed for for the ADHD. But that's not going to solve the problem. You want to know what will solve the problem is figuring out, why the fuck do you have ADHD? Why the fuck do you have anxiety? Oh, they say it's hereditary. No, it's not. It's hereditary because your fucking parents taught you how to be anxious, and then you just are repeating their fucking habits. It's not hereditary. It's just you're repeating a pattern. You're trapped in a pattern. We're all trapped in this pattern, right? I said this in a past video, but it's like, I feel like when the Europeans came to America, they should have shut up and drank ayahuasca, because we'd have a more empathetic world. We'd have a more connected world right now. America would be one of the most connected places on the planet, like it used to be. And we would have been even more, because we would have been more advanced now. But my thing is this. Now that we're starting to become more advanced, humans are getting scared. We're getting scared of AI. AI is going to take our job. AI is going to take over the world. AI is going to kill us all. Why are we scared? Because we're scared to change. Because we're stuck in our old ways. Because we're monkeys that are scared to become the 16th dimensional digital gods that we were meant to be, like Terrence said once. I think that this is just the reality. The reality of the world is this is what we're headed towards. And we have to break away from trying to be worker bees, and we have to try to grow our wings and fly.